we got a bunch of Nintendo Switch 2 news to talk about, including Pokemon Legends ZA 3.0 update for the Game Boy Advance, and also game performance on Nintendo Switch 2, and so much more. Let's get straight into it. Okay, now for starter, games on Nintendo Switch 2 are running very smoothly. So not only is Hollow Knight Silksong running at 120 frames per second with barely any frame dropping, which is amazing. In handheld mode, it will be 120 frames per second, and of course you get your 4K 60 as advertised. So overall, this looks amazing, being able to finally play a game at 120 frames per second, because not very many games actually use the full 120 frames, so this is great. Now, another game that we wanted to mention on is Star Wars Outlaws actually running really smoothly on Nintendo Switch 2. It's kind of like you're playing the Cyberpunk version of Cyberpunk on the Switch 2, which actually runs really great. So overall, Star Wars Outlaws actually looks and runs pretty great on the Nintendo Switch 2. So the next thing we have to cover is the situation with the 40th anniversary of Mario. Now this is something that we've mentioned so many times, but I wanted to clear some things up. So at first it was like we're going to be seeing some directs of the first week. That doesn't happen, but the thing is that I wanted to mention is next week we will be seeing a Nintendo Direct. Now, there's no mention of the 40th anniversary Mario Direct, so I believe that it's been canceled. The only reason that we got a 40th anniversary of Mario Direct in 2020 was because we didn't really get any directs that year, so they made up for it for a full-fledged Mario Direct. So it looks like inside of the next upcoming Nintendo Direct, we will be seeing Mario games inside this Direct. This could potentially be Mario Galaxy and Mario Wii and a whole bunch of different Mario games, and I'm gonna make a whole video covering all of that, but for right now it looks like we won't be seeing a 40th anniversary of Mario Direct, because if you look at this right here, it looks like the Direct's going to be on the 12th. That's one day before the Mario's birthday. It makes a little bit more sense because Nintendo's wanting to push this Direct out to say happy birthday, because usually they don't necessarily work during a weekend, so this makes sense. Okay, so the next thing here that I wanted to talk about was Pokemon Legends ZA. So we got some new gameplay, which is really cool, or I should say some more screenshots of gameplay, which is really great. Now, there's going to be different ways that you can implement into the game. So once you do battles and things, there's going to be different little mini challenges that you can do on the side. Now, maybe it's going to be like attack an opponent with a poison type move, and then you're going to get that challenge. It's going to be done, and boom, now you get some sort of reward for doing that challenge, which is really cool. It gives you a fun way to do different things in the game, which is amazing. So another thing about Pokemon Legends ZA is what I wanted to mention was a potential reveal for Mega Malmar. Now this is really interesting because usually on the Thursday, as we see in the past 2 Thursdays, we got a mega reveal. So this Thursday it came and gone, and we didn't get no mega reveal besides a weird Malmar trailer. So maybe this is Pokemon saying, okay, sneak peek, there's gonna be Mega Malmar, but we're not gonna show you the actual mega until the game comes out. So just have that in your noodle when you start playing the game. So that could be the possibility. Overall, very interesting. Now, one thing that I want to mention here is there's been some leaks about Generation 10, so Pokemon Generation 10, which is very interesting, and it honestly backs up the claim of it being set in the Cyglades. Now, inside of this Pokemon generation, we will be seeing different islands. Some of them are human islands, and some of them are more creature islands, which is really interesting. And supposedly, we will be seeing this game revealed to us on Pokemon Day. Now, for some reason, on this little paper, it says that it's going to be the 28th. It must have been the 27th, but of course, take this with a grain of salt. It is not confirmed by any way, shape, or form. It looks like we will be seeing Mega Evolutions for Generation 10. So not only is Pokemon Legends ZA going to be seeing Mega Evolutions, but also Pokemon Champions is also going to be seeing Mega Evolutions, and now Pokemon Generation 10. So overall, this is all very interesting. And the one key thing that I wanted to mention was supposedly we're going to be seeing every single Pokemon come to this game. I don't know how true this is, but it says that there's 1,115 different Pokemon. So what in the world does this mean? Why is there so many Pokemon in this one game? That's very, very interesting, but I want to mention it. Okay, so now one thing that we have to mention here is Game Boy Classics. Now there's been a 3.0 update which brings the original start menu, which is really, really cool. So you can finally see the Game Boy Advance, which is really, really awesome. And you also have the ability to switch out your controls. So if you're playing Game Boy Advance games, this is the perfect time to jump back into it and have a great time of it. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, consider subscribing. I would really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to make my goal to get that 10,000 subscribers. That would be a dream come true. So consider subscribing, and thank you very much. Back to the video. Now the next thing is Animal Crossing. Now there's a possibility for the upcoming Nintendo Direct that we could be seeing the return of Animal Crossing, because if you go to the Nintendo Today app, you can see that Nintendo has put out a little trailer about Animal Crossing Crocs, and I want to tell you that they actually look really, really nice. So does this mean that just maybe Nintendo's like, I'm gonna get back into the spirit of Animal Crossing, so join us as we get into Animal Crossing once again? Very, very interesting possibility for Animal Crossing in 2026, but also we can't forget about Tamagotchi Life, and essentially you know, it's kind of like a building game, so it could be the same. Maybe they don't want to release two games at the same time. So overall, that's pretty interesting. Now, we got to talk about Nintendo releasing Nintendo Classics. So usually about every month, we'll see some sort of Nintendo Classics. But right now in September, we don't really know what it's going to be. Is this going to be announced to us in the General Direct? Is it going to be something that we haven't actually seen before? Or is it just going to be like something that they announced before inside of the Nintendo Direct? Could it be Super Smash Bros? Could it be something like that? Because there's been things going around about seeing Super Smash Bros 64 released on Nintendo Switch 2. So does this mean anything? Possibility, but overall, it's a very, very interesting and cool thing. And, you know, 2026 is going to be a pretty massive year for Nintendo. Not only is it the 30th anniversary of Pokemon with so many different generations coming to this, but also we got The Legend of Zelda, and The Legend of Zelda, wow, you gotta think to yourself, what are we going to be seeing? Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, A Link Between Worlds, Ocarina of Time, or something new? Or is it something that we didn't even name? Overall, it's going to be a very, very exciting time, and I can't wait to see what's next for Nintendo. Overall, that's pretty much all the news we had to cover, and there's probably going to be even more in the next coming days. The most exciting thing. And remember, if you're liking this, consider subscribing. I would really, really appreciate it. And honestly, thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you consider watching this video right here. I guarantee it, you're probably going to like it. If you made it this far, check it out. Anyways, that being said, hope you have a fantastic day. See you in the next one.